Hello everyone, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to The Audio Analyst. Today, I'm pleased to share what I hope you will all agree is some interesting and exciting news on both the affordable and hyper audio fronts. First, on the affordable side, when the email from the Fosi Audio marketing team landed, inquiring as to whether or not I'd care to explore some new V3 series of affordable items, I was only too happy to accept. A few days later, both the Q6 mini desktop DAC and the P4 preamp, at $100 each, arrived, along with another product that they hadn't offered but that I had requested, the $200 ZP3 preamp. First, the P6 DAC is a new versatile mini DAC using the AKM AK4493 SEQ DAC, one step down from the Asahi Kasei Microdevices flagship chipset, the AK4499. It also incorporates the XU316 audio processor from Exmos, a high-performance, multi-core microcontroller specifically designed for audio processing and digital signal processing applications. The Texas Instruments OPA1612 op-amp, a dual high-performance bipolar input audio operational amplifier known for its low noise, low distortion, and wide bandwidth, is commonly chosen for professional applications where its ability to deliver very clean, high-fidelity audio rounds out the internal architecture. This absurdly affordable DAC, loaded with so many high-performance devices and its advanced design, is capable of supporting a PCM maximum sampling rate of up to 32-bit at 768 kHz and DSD 512. It features optical, coaxial, and USB inputs, as well as RCA and sub-out outputs. Said to offer an impressive 121 decibels signal-to-noise ratio, with ultra-low distortion given as 12/100,000ths%. That's 0.00012%, capable of delivering a dynamic range of 121 decibels. These specifications match or actually suppress the specifications of some of today's higher-priced DACs. I will be comparing this DAC directly to the $80 SMSL SU1 DAC, which uses the very same AKM chipset to create the overachieving DAC that I featured in episode 174 from May 12th of last year. This is going to be fun. The P4 preamp offers 3 sets of single-ended RCA inputs, 1 set of single-ended RCA outputs, separate bass and treble contour controls, and the volume pot is motorized so that it can be controlled from its simple, included remote control. And for purists, there is a tone control bypass option to allow for a pure signal output, circumventing the bass and treble controls entirely. Now, the P4 uses a stock 50-cent Texas Instruments NE5532P dual op-amp, making it ripe for op-amp rolling. I have already spoken to Andrew Sparks of Sparkos Labs, and he has been kind enough to offer to provide their discrete SS3602 op-amp to upgrade the P4 for comparison to the stock unit. I've included a link in today's description to show the detailed measurement of the effects of swapping the stock NE5532P op-amp in the Fosi P4 preamplifier with that Sparkos SS3602. But the ears will be the final arbiter of the effectiveness of that substitution. The ZP3 is a balanced line stage that has 2 pairs of single-ended RCA inputs and 1 balanced XLR input, as well as 1 pair each single-ended RCA and balanced XLR outputs, and a single-ended RCA subwoofer output. The front panel includes the window for the infrared receiver for the directives from the simple remote control it has, a power switch input selector, its motorized volume control, as well as separate bass, treble, and balance controls. Its rear panel includes DC trigger outputs to automatically power on or off other connected devices, as well as both a high-pass filter switch, very useful when using subwoofers, permitting your choice of full bandwidth, 20 Hz to 20 kHz, or either 80 Hz to 20 kHz or 120 Hz to 20 kHz, as well as a tone control bypass. With a rated signal-to-noise ratio of greater than or equal to 115 decibels, an overall signal-to-noise and distortion ratio of greater than or equal to 113 decibels, and a crosstalk ratio of greater than or equal to minus 130 dB, these are some mighty impressive specs for a $200 device. And for those of you whose passions more closely align with mine, Damon Von Schweikert arrived here this past Friday evening to deliver both a review set of the new VR.30 loudspeakers and with a pair of the new foundational series of amplifiers to replace the original model amplifiers that came with my Ultra 9s. The VR.30 loudspeaker is the latest addition to the VR series of full-range loudspeakers and the fullest expression yet of their price-to-performance paradigm. I first heard the new VR.30 at last year's Capitol Audio Fest and presented them here on the channel with episode 201 from November 17th of 2024. The new VR.30 is a milestone for Von Schweikert in that it is the first collaboration between Damon Von Schweikert and a new designer, Stephen Norber, founder and designer of Affordability and founding partner of Edge Electronics. The VR.30 implements 3 ultra-fast 7-inch ceramic honeycomb woofers from Accuton, a low-mass, high-definition Accuton ceramic mid-range driver, and their beryllium dome tweeter. It also uses a rear-mounted ribbon driver to deliver its unique and engaging ambience retrieval capability. Featuring hand-built point-to-point crossovers, wired throughout with master-built reference cabling, the VR.30 is available in either a purely passive version at $49,000 a pair, or fitted with the exceptional Foundation Hybrid Bass Management System at $59,000 a pair, which is the version I have received for review. While I've only heard the VR.30 at shows, I'm very excited to get a chance to audition them here in my reference system, where they will take the place of my Ultra 9s. Historically, the VR55 Actives, introduced at the 2014 Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, were the first of the VR series speakers to implement the innovative powered Foundation Hybrid Bass Management System, providing separate power to drive the woofers, and that very model was my reference loudspeaker from the spring of 2015 until my Ultra 9s landed in June of 2020. But I want to touch on this inventive and exceedingly effective technique of applying an onboard amplifier to assist the drive of the speaker's woofers. Initially offered to provide more convenient and effective pairing with low-powered amplifiers, such as those of the SET variety, Albert von Schweikert introduced this technology with the DB100 loudspeaker in 2000, followed by the more compact and affordable DB99 introduced in 2002. But once they heard how it unleashed newfound levels of analog purity, while enhancing both the overall power, impact, and speed of the bass, as well as providing for an elevated degree of dynamic expressiveness to a speaker's overall performance, they began to think about a broader application of this technology. By the time it came to launch the VR55 Active, the Maestro had this system exceptionally well integrated, and they have only continued to develop and improve the process, extending this exceptional level of performance to the VR.30 as well as to the entire Ultra range of loudspeakers. And speaking of the Ultras, while Damon is here at Audio Analyst Central, he will also be upgrading the original amplifiers in my Ultra 9s used to drive their 15-inch rear-mounted, fully adjustable subwoofer with the newest version, the foundation amplifiers, essentially updating my Ultra 9s to the current status. You can bet I'll be sharing what that upgrade experience brings to my Ultra 9s soon. While discussing the audition of a $100 DAC or line stage in the same context as a $60,000 pair of loudspeakers may initially seem to be obviously unrelated and highly disparate, because they are, might I suggest that my experience and familiarity with the elevated and sonically superior performance delivered by products that inhabit the hyper audio strata perhaps afford me a keener, more developed, and highly refined perspective into the level of sonic accomplishment realized by some of today's overachieving products available from the more affordable end of the pricing spectrum. While it should be clear that my passion and the primary focus of this channel are rooted in the realm of hyper audio products, gear some choose to refer to as luxury audio, the realm where new benchmarks are being set and the boundary between live performance and playback are being routinely diminished. The mere fact that this stratum of gear is so healthy and vibrant today only serves to drive the consistently advancing degree of performance delivered by many of today's more affordable offerings. To my point, if you are reasonably discriminating, you will find that there are many very affordable products available today that can compete with and push the limits to encroach what was seen as benchmark performance just a decade ago. Products that unquestionably render better sound than even the finest products available at any price during the first golden age of stereo in the 1970s. For relevant examples of such products, I'd ask you to consider my take on the WIM family of streamers in episode 147 and the SMSL SU1 DAC in episode 174. In further news, I'll be heading to Next Level HiFi in Wayne, Illinois at the end of the month to introduce you to the new Børresen Acoustics T5 Silver Supreme Edition ahead of their arrival here in my reference system at the end of September for a full review. I've heard them twice at shows, both at Florida and Dallas, and while both showings were remarkably impressive, I cannot wait to get them set up and dialed in here in my reference system. And as I indicated in episode 231, High-End Munich 2025, 6 exceptional rooms, Joe Lavrenchik, the owner of Critical Mass Systems, has informed me that he is ready to send me his new Ultra Gateway racks for a first-hand look and listen. I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already, so that you won't miss any of these interesting upcoming episodes. As always, thank you for taking the time to drop by today. Further information on supporting the channel may be found in today's description section or at my companion website, theaudioanalyst.com. Please stay safe and keep the music playing till next time. Cheers.